Are you ready, kids?
Aye, aye, Captain!
No! I said, are you ready?
You're listening to the Goof Norton Radio Show.
He's the best of the best of the best.
He has a wonderful voice.
If you don't like him,
You don't have a soul.
I'm sure your sister will.
Hey, babe, you want to go out?
I am back on the YouTubes, on the Twitches. The podcast is here. Here's podcast time. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Goof Norton Radio Show. We're here coming to you live once again. It is awesome. It's amazing. Happy you all can be here. It's been a minute. I've been busy working and such, but we'll get into that. But I wanted to play a video for you first, because I wanted you guys to see this, and hopefully hear this, because if Instagram wants to freaking work today, piece of trash. That's a joke, by the way. I gotta let it restart and replay, so I'll just kind of let it go through. Oh gosh, it hurts my ears.
I have to roll off.
Yeah, shush. All right. So, most of you know the movement of the body positivity kind of thing has gone and slowed down a lot. So I found this video on the Instagrams, and I was like, hey, why not? Because I think everybody needs a little bit of a reminder of what this, of what's going on here.
But I hate being fat. I hate it. I hate it so much. I can't bend down to pick something up. I can't really get out of bed in the morning, and I have to roll off and get on all fours. My knees hurt and my back hurts, and I'm bloated all the time. It feels like my body's constantly attacking me.
She's 348 right there.
348 pounds. I don't know how it got so bad.
Holy crap! Holy
6 minutes. We're still going though.
I'm nervous. Wait.
We're 46 pounds down. But
So that is the reality of body positivity. I just want to point that out there. I will say this is coming from somebody who is a personal trainer, and I have trained quite a few people. But this is just in general from a person who cares about your health and your safety. That whole movement was a freaking sham from the beginning, right? Because anybody can push someone into a corner if they get aggressive enough with calling people fat phobic or any other word they might use in that circumstance. And that bothers me a lot, because you're weaponizing your words in order to make someone feel bad about caring about somebody else. And that is the worst thing you can do, because once everybody who does care stops caring because you've pushed them so far out of a range where they could possibly help you or reach out to you, then when it gets bad, all of a sudden you have these people who are really struggling and alone and isolated, because anybody who actually did care about them speaking the truth to their faces, not just behind their backs or, just kind of lightly tiptoeing around it. No, but to their faces. Oh, guess what? Suddenly this person's in distress and they need help, but nobody's there to actually help them. And all the people that they've surrounded themselves with are affirming their freaking idiotic behavior. I'm just going to call it what it is. It's idiotic behavior, or ignorant behavior, because maybe they didn't know any better. Nobody told them any better, but they shoved. It's willful ignorance is what I call it. Willful ignorance, because they're willingly shoving people away who actually have the knowledge to help them. And now they're really in a bad place. And a lot of them, I will say, some of them do pass from such behaviors, because being that heavy for that long, your heart can't pump that much blood out to every piece of you. And people have lost limbs that way. People have lost their lives that way. Like it happens, right? That's just the natural cycle of such things. Having that type of body, not necessarily the healthiest thing for you. Just gonna say that. I know some people are genetically big. I'm not talking to you right now. I'm talking about people who are living the lifestyle that allowed you to get that big. You were never that big before, but you allowed yourself to get that way. Now, this is not to shame anybody who's fallen prey to these influencers out here who are like body positivity, love who you are. Loving yourself isn't letting yourself get to that point. And if you did get to that point, loving yourself is also making sure that you're working to get away from that. And so you don't reach that point ever again. Because I can tell you, people who are like that, who live that life and post that stuff on social media, I guarantee you they're not the happiest people in IRL. You know, I guarantee you they're not the happiest people IRL. You're not gonna walk up to them in public, every day and meet them and be like, oh my gosh, you really, you helped me out. You helped me believe and understand that, so I can be fat. Like I can just be fat and I'm gonna be happy. Like you're certainly not gonna live long, and you're certainly not gonna be that happy because there's a lot of problems. You get breathing problems. You have cardiovascular issues, a lot of them too, coming with that. And then guess what? Clothes shopping is a freaking nightmare for you. Fitting in normal spaces is a freaking nightmare for you because you can no longer do those things. Your quality of life starts to just degrade. And again, the foods you're eating in order to get yourself to that place usually not that good, so you're not going to be feeling the best ever, maybe once in a blue moon, and you're going to end up having to probably go to the doctors, take medication to help kind of hide the symptoms of what you're doing. Like again, I hope nobody out there is falling prey. Obviously anybody who watches me, I don't believe that you would be falling prey to these things. Some of you may. I don't know. But the people I usually associate with have some good common sense, right? In real life. Maybe not when it comes to video games, but in real life, they've got some good common sense, and I trust the people that surround me to have the smarts to avoid that kind of stuff, because like it can be damaging, not just to you, but the people around you as well. But that whole trend did a move. Boy, oh boy, that do some damage to a lot of people on the internet. Because there's people out there right now still stuck in that life cycle. That lifestyle. Sorry, not life cycle, but that lifestyle. They're still stuck there. They can't get out of it because they don't know how. And sometimes they end up like her, where she doesn't know how she got that way. There's just too much social media, too many people affirming like, oh no, you're beautiful. Big is beautiful. Big is beautiful. I'm like, I'm not saying it's not, but there's an unhealthy type of big. There is. There just it is. You look at it from a scientific standpoint, which I know a lot of people turn their ears off at, like, oh, science. What does science know? Science knows how to save your freaking life. Last time I checked. It's because of our medical science that people are allowed to live a little bit longer these days and not dying to simple things like simple diseases, anymore. A cut is no longer a death sentence. There's really not a lot of worry about it getting infected because we have a lot of things to just prevent that from happening in the first place. But simple things like that, and other more extreme cases where people get to walk away from and then get to continue to live normal lives after they recover, of course. Like, it's great. It's wonderful. So I'm just saying. And as a person from a fitness perspective, it's fantastic the way we can move and exercise and whatnot to help ourselves, maintain a healthy amount of muscle and help us get rid of that unwanted fat that, that some of us hold. It's like, oh, that's great. It's like, man, it's almost like this information is out there to help us instead of hurt us, because exercise doesn't hurt you. It can hurt you if you decide to do something stupid, but if you do nice controlled exercises within your capabilities, like you're fine. You're fine, You're okay. It's not gonna be that bad. No, but that has bothered me for a while, and I think I've spoken on it before. At this point, I'm pretty sure I have. I'm pretty sure I have before. That podcast is on Spotify. Somewhere out there. But yeah. Hope everybody's doing well. Like, welcome back to the show. It's been a minute. Like, I've been busy working. I started a new job. Can't tell too many details about it. But yeah, starting a new job. It's fun. It's nice. I get to work for a company that takes care of me. They feed us lunch and dinner. You guys already know I've gotten married, so that's a whole thing. That's on the last episode, I think, which was like months ago by this point. Yeah, we moved. We've been moved in. Got a good desk. Got a good monitor. Got my lights up. And I've been just chilling, trying to make sure, I'm working hard, keeping a job so we can keep our apartment, all that good stuff. We did go through a rough patch where neither of us were working. Give me a second. Okay, never mind. Somebody's fire alarm was going off. I just heard that. Because that was weird. I heard that through my headphones. Because I'm sitting here, I'm like, what's that freaking noise? Yeah, but we had a rough patch where neither of us were working, but now we're fine. Because my job pays well enough now that she can stay and just kind of chill and do things here, which is great. We have a good dynamic going on. Outside of that, we've just been settling in. I will say, I have been a little bit more bold in my internet shopping. Now, I'm only like window shopping. I'm not actually buying anything, but I've been going on Amazon, looking at some stuff that eventually I would want. Right? I'm looking at stuff like that. I'm like, Now, I might be tempted at some point to get one of those mini little desktop, those, I guess I'm going to call them mini towers because that's basically what they frickin' are. They're just little bricks. But that is what's taking over a lot of people's desktops these days. That's what's taking place of the classic tower. It's just this little freaking small brick. And when I first saw them, I was like, what the heck is this? And then you look at the specs and you look at, okay, what all they have in there. And it's like, okay, it's not so bad. And I want one just to have it for the sake of trying gaming and streaming and see how that works out. I don't know how it works out. I've never tested it out. I haven't watched a lot of videos on it yet. I probably will go back, do some more research. But eventually, I would like to have one of those things. And that's okay. That's what a wish list is for. And I'm going to put that on my wish list. And I think I took my wish list out of my panels on Twitch. I'm hoping I did. Because I don't necessarily... Because again, I'm not the kind of person to ask you guys for a lot of stuff. And I definitely don't want to ask you guys for stuff like that. Because, I mean, granted, that's for stream, and I would have, like, obviously I'd appreciate it, but I'm like, I don't know how I feel about people, especially, like, anybody anonymously buying stuff like that. Because it's like, whoa. Because, first of all, this stuff, that's not cheap. Right? It's not cheap. It's not just, like, some $5 thing that's like, oh, thank you. I appreciate it. No. Those are expensive. I don't like people spending that kind of money on me. I had one person do that already, which is the reason why I have my computer that I do now, okay? So that happened once. I don't know about that happening again. All right, we're chill. We're cool now. Everybody relaxes and does their thing and takes care of themselves. I've also been looking at different mixers because I do want a bigger mixer so I could have more slots and more room for like soundboards and things. Because I like having effects like that and I can make myself feel good. Oh, that didn't help. There you go. So I can have stuff like that, but more of it. Fucking jeez. Sometimes it betrays me like that, and yeah, it happens. But the sound effects, the different voices and whatnot, and just other capabilities that are more relevant to me here on stream and what I would do with them. And I've seen some cool ones. Because a lot of them, the ones that I look at are more for podcasting, right? I can use an analog freaking mixer and just have all separate levels for everything, and just have like a soundboard through my computer and do it that way. But I like having the buttons like at my fingertips because I can just press them and you just have like simple things. I have simple things like that and just easily pop in sound effects like that. I love that. One of my favorite soundboards actually disappeared from the internet. I'm kind of mad about it. So I'll have to go and find it elsewhere because now I'm upset about it. I'm really upset about it because it's classic and there's some sound effects in there that I wanted. I think I have a few still left over because I pre-recorded them way back in the day via OBS. And I was like, ooh. So I have them. I just need to separate them. Oh, that's what I needed my video editor for. I re-downloaded my video editing software on this computer because my old computer is it's not kaput. It's still in a box somewhere. We do still have boxes lying around just in places because it's like there's no reason to unpack it. Like I don't have space for my other computer on this desk. If I had more space on this current desk, I would have both my computers up because it's my old editing computer. But hey, it's fine. I can probably use this computer and still get away with it. We'll see what happens. Because they changed the look of it. And so I got to relearn my editing software. Because it's changed since like 5 years ago. Actually, at this point, when I heavily used it, it would be like 6 or 7 years ago. That's not good. I mean, that is good, but that's not good. We're getting there, chat. This year is would be my 10th year on YouTube. I just want to put that out there. I don't know why, but we've been here for 10 years. Come December 30th, 2014, I think. Yeah, it'll be 10 years. It'll be great, and I'm kind of happy about it. I've been here making content for that long. And there's other content creators out there who've been making content for that long. And I'm happy to be here still after that long. Like, that's 10 years of my life that you guys have been a part of. You've seen the change and you see the differences. And it's amazing. Like, it's not like the biggest difference in the world. Like, I'm not out here making, top tier videos. But again, I'm not necessarily mad about that or upset about it or sad or disappointed at all. Because it's like some of the trends these days do kind of bother me, as I guess some of the trends back then bothered me too, because I'm sure I've talked about them, because I've always been that kind of person just to be like, here's my opinion and here's how it goes. But I've always tried to, give you some solid truth every now and then, or at least most of the time. I try not to give you some crap I just pulled out of nowhere. What the frick? Uh-oh. I'ma have to kill someone. No, you didn't hear that, YouTube. I'm gonna have to kill. Somebody's messing with crazy and being weird. I'm gonna have to stab someone later, but that's okay. But yeah, like 10 years on YouTube, amazing. I don't know how long for Twitch. Maybe like 2015. I've been on Twitch, so. We don't talk about the numbers, about how long I've been here. But I miss YouTube rewinds. I'm not gonna lie. That's been a thing that I kind of missed. But as I don't consume a lot of YouTube, well, okay, I only consume when it comes to YouTube, I only consume a certain amount of creators. Most of them are the same. 99% of the creators I consume on YouTube are the same, like 2/3 sometimes, that I've been watching for the last like 10-11 years. Okay, so I've seen other trends and I've seen other creators come and go. You guys are like, anybody who's been around the podcast for any amount of time, you've heard me talk about endlessly about the people that I knew that have come and gone from YouTube. One of the streamers people that have come and gone from streaming on the Twitch, because life changes happen. One of the streamers on Twitch had a whole freaking baby, and now he doesn't stream nearly as much. And that's fine, right? He streams every now and then. Well, every now and then, I mean like maybe 3 times a year. But that's cool. I still keep in contact because thanks to Discord, which is a huge upgrade from whatever the frick we were doing beforehand. Because I tell you, because I could talk about this now, Skype calls and recording on Skype calls and having to do the podcast from Skype, screw that. Matching up the fricking audio was a nightmare sometimes. And oh gosh, that was just fricking awful. having to do all the different recording styles and whatnot. Because when I did actual gameplay, especially when I started getting into the later years, I guess not later years, but like I guess halfway to the halfway point, having to record via my capture card and then have to run another run my oh boy, I'm gonna get there, my editing software. I had to hit record on that too to get my voice, and then later to take the footage from whatever I recorded off my SD card from my capture card, shove it in my editing computer, and try to match up the audio to what's going on. And hence why in some of the old videos you can tell I had to turn on the on screen, like, to let you know that people were talking. I had to turn on the on screen visuals for that. That was a freaking nightmare sometimes because I had to really match up like what I was saying, and sometimes the capture card would be running it would have started a little bit earlier, like too early before my microphone started, and that bothered me a lot because then it's like, okay, then I spent there because I immediately my first thought is, right, match up the audio end to end with the video. And then obviously one's going to be longer than the other. Okay, we figure out we cut here. And then don't let me have to cut out a middle segment because somebody said something stupid, which I can't allow on my channel. On this channel, I had another channel that was okay with saying the weird, more mature things. But on this channel, I try to keep it as clean as possible here on YouTube. Twitch. The fuck? Sorry. My Xbox just did something. Oh, my console's gonna turn off in 5 minutes. Who told you could do that? Oh, my controller's not on. Oh, no. Oh, no, that's bad. Okay, I gotta sign myself in. So, yeah, like, having to match that stuff up for the sake of editing was absolute garbage. I hated it. But at the time, you know, I didn't like it at the time, but I still had some fun with it, because that allowed me to, you know, get some expertise in terms of editing. And, you know, I don't have a lot of skill anymore with that because I haven't edited in like freaking 3 years. I think the last thing I edited was not for myself. It in fact was for someone else, which is also on my YouTube channel. It's one of the streamers that I watch and enjoy. I don't remember. Yeah, no, I don't remember. I'm looking at my like videos right now, thanks to having YouTube on my phone. Yeah, no, it's been a while. I have not edited something in a long time. It's been at least 4 years. Let's say that. It's been about 4 years. Yeah, because the last things I remember editing were not for me. Cheesy Pete's, dude. Yeah, that's funny. But I've you know, made friends, made collaborations and whatnot over that 10 years, and made you know, had a lot of good times. Now YouTube, this is not goodbye. We're still here. I'm like, hello. I'm still alive. We're good. We're good for right now. You know, I'm gonna be, you know, continuing this stuff as long as I can. I know there's not been a lot of activity recently, right? We've been kind of slacking, and every now and then you get clips, and every now and then you get music. The last time I released music was like, well, it was probably a couple months ago. It was during the summer, right? This is me being very professional, knowing when I released music. I'm out here struggling by myself. It's fine. 3 months ago. Probably 2 months ago. There you go. See, right there. 2 months ago. You could check out the music. Right now it's on Spotify and all the other platforms too, but it's also very much on YouTube if you want to listen to it. And, you know, it's okay. But you know, it's there. I post clips every now and then on YouTube, but YouTube has been a fun time. Like, the podcast has probably been it has been. There's no probably. It has been the longest running thing I have on my channel. There's been no series, nothing else that has lasted this long, and I started doing the podcast in 2015 because somebody suggested it, and I was like, sure, why not? And people have really enjoyed what we do here, and I'm glad. I'm glad I could provide key episodes that really get people going and that get people thinking or feeling a certain way. Like, it's just nice. It's nice to have impacted a lot of you over the years and to have been able to interact with you guys. This is fun. I like doing content creation. It's great. I don't like, for me, there's no pressure anymore. Because back when I started it, I was in high school. So now I don't really care about saying that because I'm like, I am much older than that now and have done more things since that time. And I'm still happy to be here. Also, yeah, if you hear me grunt or something, I am indeed in a little bit of pain. I might have strained a muscle in my chest. So now it affects my shoulder and the way my arm moves, and it doesn't feel good all the time. So it's a little bit of a struggle to move my right arm. I'm alive. I'm okay. But boy, does it hurt sometimes. I took pain meds to kind of take a lot of the brunt of that, but oh boy, they're not kicked in just yet. All right, well, we're going to make it through. I'm sweating, but that's okay. I'll be okay. What was I saying before that? The pain threw me off. Blah, 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 podcast. Yeah, the podcast has been the longest running thing here. I'm glad to be able to talk to a lot of you guys, play with a lot of you guys. Like, and the guests I've had have been amazing. They've been great, Since that time we started, we've seen Mixer come and go. We've seen Kick, the texting platform Kick, come and go. We've seen the end of YouTube Shorts, not YouTube Shorts, YouTube Rewinds. Those have gone. We've seen the adpocalypse happen here on Twitch and on YouTube, both just freaking going insane with ads. I think YouTube did theirs much earlier, and then Twitch is having their stuff that they do now. And I've definitely talked and verbally attacked both these platforms quite a few times since we started doing this. I don't know how many guests I've had, but a lot of them, again, they're all great. I love them. I love the people that I've had on this show. They're great. I don't talk to a lot of them. Some of them I still keep in contact with. Others we've just, because life moves on, and those people weren't like massive parts of my life before the show. Because a guest is a guest and business is business, and we kind of say the things we say. We go our separate ways, and that's how it goes sometimes. And that's okay, right? It's not the end of the world. It's not the worst thing I could say or do to somebody. Because, you have guests. It doesn't mean they're meant to be friends forever. Because I'm sure there'd be a lot of bumping heads and ideals and whatnot. So I keep it professional in terms of the relationships there. We've had a lot of drama. I've left Twitter. I've gone off Twitter, right? No more Twitter for me. To be fair, I think I've been happier without it. I could say I've been doing just fine without it. I'm pretty excited about that. Pretty excited about the fact that I no longer have to look on Twitter and see the random shenanigans. Like, sometimes it's not even like political drama, and we'll get into that bit later, like in a little bit after I'm done with this. But like, it's just sometimes people post the weirdest videos, they have the weirdest takes, and I know some of it's rage bait. It's just for the sake of interaction and getting the numbers up. But again, that means nothing because you're just doing this on social media. Congrats, you're not really getting money from that. But like, again, so what is that? What is in the end? What does that any of that mean? Seriously, what does it mean? You're not making any money from it. You're just there, right? You're just saying things into an empty void, basically, and people are just happen to see it. It's like, oh, that's a bad take, and they have a strong emotional reaction to it. Which, being off of Twitter really has allowed me to realize that it's helped me calm down, right? It's helped me not take things so seriously. Now, I will say, I was aware plenty of times that stuff that people say on Twitter typically would be rage bait or just something. And sometimes people do believe what they say because they just don't know. Because they get stuck in their own corner of the internet, and there's plenty of people out there. They don't do any research. They don't do any sleuthing or any discovering for themselves. They get their news from Twitter and only Twitter, as if there aren't people out there actually writing articles trying to get information out to people accurately that aren't a part of Fox, CNN, BBC, or whoever, whatever major news network out there exists. There's people who don't work for those guys. I hope you know. It's easy to do some research and find a credible article and be like, hey. And even you have there's so many tools now these days too, especially if you use other browsers and whatnot. That'll be like, hey, this particular article or this particular company that writes these articles may not be the most credible source for you to look at. Try this instead. Sometimes there's tools like that can help you. I'm pretty sure there are websites out there that actually do help tell you if a news source is credible or not, whether the writer is known for being controversial or being is known for exaggerating stories or exaggerating topic points or whatever it is. They can tell you that. The internet has a lot of information. I understand that, but the internet also has a lot of tools to help you filter out what's true, what's false. Because a lot of times it's just not hidden information. You just don't freaking look in the right place. Like, it's out there in the open. You just got to look at it. Just look at it. But we got to do it because I'm one of those people. Politics, great, right? This is when the numbers turn to zero. The things I have said, I still stand by. If any of your political beliefs make you look at someone or make you feel like someone should be dead, you're doing it wrong. If they lead you to be that angry at someone, you're falling for it. You're falling for the trap and the tricks. I'll just put that out there. You're falling for it. You're an idiot. You're being an idiot for no reason. I'll say it plainly. You're being an idiot for no reason. You could be making life easy for yourself and trying to work with your neighbor as much, as closely as possible, I guess, without being too weird. But honestly, again, your political alignment, your political beliefs should result in the overall community that you live in and the communities that surround you be better. Both financially, both physically, not both, but financially, mentally, physically. Like, hello, we should be taking care of each other and make sure laws and acts are getting passed and bills are getting passed that are beneficial to the entire community. For every person that lives in your community, whether they're handicapped, whether they're a different color than you are, whatever, right? Doesn't matter. If your political beliefs make you look at your freaking neighbor and get angry and wish death upon them, you're doing it wrong. That's just flat out truth right there. And if that made you angry, guess what? You're drinking the wrong soup there, bud. You're sipping the wrong stuff over there. I need you to, put the glass down and pick a different drink because you're drinking the wrong stuff. Because if you believe that, and this is just for the states, other countries you have your parties, but for our parties, neither of these parties care for you. They don't. They're here to line their pockets. That's pretty freaking obvious by this point. They feed off of our chaos and our division because it's like, hey, when these idiots are busy hating each other because all they do is listen to the news and the false information that gets put out there and nobody does any research, guess what? We're lining our pockets with investments, with the money that we're given, the budgets that we're given to actually run our departments of the government. Oh yeah, we're like they're paid money to do that kind of stuff, and they get to pocket all of it. They have loopholes and all this other stuff. And they have other freaking corporations and whatnot in their pockets as well, just giving them money. Yeah, pass this bill. It doesn't matter about the little man, about the little guy. Screw them. They're going to keep fighting over this stuff anyway and still have to continue to buy product. They got to go to work. They got to take care of their daily lives, I'm sorry, but it's too obvious at this point. It's just like, really, we're falling for it still. As obvious it has been, even though these networks have been exposed, even though many politicians have been exposed, people still are drinking the wrong tea. And it's like, but for the love of all that is good, just stop believing what they're telling you. Because they don't care about you. They don't care about you. They don't care about your family. They try to break up families and whatnot. Like, easily. Again, I don't understand how people could be just so willfully blind to such things. It's like, it's so easy. It's easier for us to just work together. You know, we settle our differences like adults and just talk it out. Be like, hey, and if we can't agree, we can't agree, and that's okay. It's like, hey, but there's no need to start killing each other over it. It's not freaking worth it. It's never been worth it. And I will forever continue to say, and let me look it up for you real quick. I can't text to speech it right now. George Washington. That's George Washington's view on political parties. Because it is my wonderful, it is my geez. It is the quote that I like to quote often. But not even really just the quote. It's more of just the entirety of his belief when it came to forming parties. And I had to make sure I looked this up. So, if you didn't know, George Washington, first president of the United States, you know, I'm sure you got that info. This man believed that political parties would destroy the United States because they'd be for themselves and not for the people. That's just kind of summarizing it. I'm giving you the Spark Notes version. Cliff Notes, Spark Notes, I don't know. Too many notes. I haven't been in school in years, and nor do I care. But that is one thing I carry with me a lot. Because that creates a lot of hostilities between citizens. Because naturally, somebody's going to align with somebody. Like, you're going to have cliques and whatnot that form, groups that form. That's obvious. That's just a natural way that people get. That's just how we do. The problem with it being so prevalent in our government is that it creates a society like we live in now. There's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of high tensions, right? And there's just a lot of chaos. And they're getting rich, and I'm not getting any richer. My neighbor's not getting any richer. We're all poor. Congrats. Like, people's political beliefs that are so ingrained in them because of their parents, grandparents, and whatnot, they don't take a second to step back and look at it all and be like, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I was wrong. Because I had to take that step back. I wasn't so, like, radical about it. I've never really been, like, a madman when it comes to politics. I've always kind of been like, I guess I'll vote this way, or I'll vote this way because my parents. But when I actually take time to think about it for myself and look at what's going on, it's like, man, I might be a little bit stupid. And now it's not to, discredit my parents. Like, they're smart. They vote for what they see and they have more experience in life than I freaking do. But they're smart. They're smart people. They don't make dumb votes. But when it came to like friends and whatnot in friend circles, sometimes they'll have you believing certain things because they're your peers. It's easier for your peers to influence what you will say or do or how you act, versus your parents. Because your peers are more your age, and somehow you think that they would understand life better than your parents. That's just the young kid mindset, and that's stupid. That's stupid. I couldn't tell my younger self, be like, just listen to your parents. They know what they're talking about, because I wouldn't listen anyway. So, but as an adult, I can reflect on that and be like, I know who to trust. and who not to listen to sometimes. But like, yeah, now I make smarter decisions when it comes to that kind of stuff. And it's true. What we need is some younger, more motivated politicians who don't have their pockets lined with corrupt money, and who are willing to get out there and actually, get their hands dirty with some work for the people. That's what we're looking for. That's what we need. It's plain and simple. The hard part is getting everybody back together. After all this has occurred for so many years, so many years of this. Like, we've been a country for over 200 years now, and we're I'm not gonna say we're still, but you'd think that a country that is like, oh, unity, freedom, blah blah blah, we're all Americans, would put their frickin' differences aside just for a little bit and use some common sense. And it's unfortunate, the common sense shortage is worldwide. That definitely isn't just an us thing. That's a frickin' everybody thing for some reason. And it's tragic because it affects us all. It affects the ones who do have good intentions. It affects the ones that are trying to make a difference, because the people who lack common sense are out here being a hazard for everybody. That's just the truth. We need freaking younger peeps who aren't corrupted yet, who we can have, because that's the thing, right? The problem I find with when it comes to like government, people don't know how it works anymore. They somehow forgot this is how it works. They don't know that they can reach out to their local representatives via email, via phone call, via writing a frickin' letter, something. You can contact them and be like, hey, what you doing? How you running this thing? What are you using the money for? You can ask them those questions. We're allowed to, be like, hey, I need this done in my community. Can you do something about that, please? And get your freaking friends, get your neighbors in on it, and be like, everybody send them the same email about the same things. List your freaking county and about where you live, and they'll get back to you, or at least their secretary will get back to you. But you'll get a response, especially if a lot of you freaking say something. But people refuse to go down that route because they're lazy, and that's the other thing. Too freaking lazy to make the change. But hey, that's how things go, I guess. But I thank you guys so much for listening to the podcast. YouTube, that is going to be it for you tonight. This will be up for a while. I'm not going to take it down, obviously. I don't do that. But until next time, stay safe and stay very hydrated. And I will catch you all in the next one. Bye-bye now.